So we are live. Show is just me right now. Adria should be on in a second. Renikia won't make it this week. So you just have little old me for show number 89. Little old me. So we're gonna start to load up here, hopefully, and we'll get going. So welcome to everyone on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. This is my weekly Flippinar where we try to answer questions about real estate investing, mainly wholesaling. You can put real estate deals together without using your cash or credit. So we'll wait on a few people to load questions, but while we're waiting on that, I like to make sure that everyone knows that I am in search of raw and vacant land. Hopefully it has some timber, meaning trees, tall trees. Reason being, that's some of the value of the property, along with possible development opportunities for who we flip it to. So that the more the valuable it becomes if it has existing timber in most cases, which I put out a recent video on Instagram and YouTube, giving an idea of how it should look. So you can go to YouTube and do a search for let's flip land and just put flip land behind it and you should see it. And you can go to my Instagram profile.net. That's flipman.net. You spell out the dot. So flipman.net. Flipman.net. So while we're waiting on people to load questions, someone had one right here. I'll go ahead and ask it. Off-roader says, hi, Ty, what's up, my man? Steve Ducote, how to add an extension to your Google Voice number. Not sure what you mean by adding an extension. Available, what Steve, YouTube and do a search for that particular question about Google Voice, and you'll have multiple videos if that feature actually exists for Google Voice. As someone, she won't be here this week. She's taking care of some biz, trying to make more paper. So she won't be here this week. Clarence Green asks on YouTube, is it a must that an inspector or contractor see the home? What if you're wholesaling in other states? No, it's not a must by no means. If you're wholesaling in other states, you're going to have someone on the ground to assist you with those part of the transaction because you're not there. That's why when people talk about virtual wholesaling, I know it just sounds lovely and beautiful, but I'm all about real world stuff. You can do virtual wholesaling, but you have to have certain things in place to be successful with that. It's a lot easier to wholesale in your back door. I don't care what anyone says. It just is if you're in a decent sized city. Now, sometimes you're in a small town, you don't have a choice but to try to target other markets or whatever. But start in your own market, learn how to wholesale there, dominate there, and you're good. People say it's too competitive here. When you're in some of these humongous cities, man, it's just not possible for it to be too competitive. Because you know what? Most people are not going to succeed. I'm not saying that that's going to be you, but you understand that the best example I can always give everybody can relate to, if you're in a decent sized market You know, there are McDonald's everywhere, Wendy's, Burger King. I can go down the list, but you'll still have your mom and pop hamburger shop, and they're killing it or whatever. And they're competing against those national chains. They can't sell all the hamburgers to people that eat hamburgers, just like a large franchise or a large group of investors or one investor. They can't buy all the real estate, can't even come close. The main thing, because everybody's not going to go about it the same way. And a lot of times when you see real estate stats, it's all based on what the real estate agent and broker world puts out there. That doesn't have anything to do a lot of times with what we do, because we're targeting individuals and they never make MLS. None of the deals never make MLS. So those numbers are not accounted for in a lot of cases. So enough deals out there. Make sure you're putting your foot in the water to make sure you get wet with dollar bills. So just to reiterate, looking for vacant land. If you want to get a good idea of what I'm actually looking for, I got sidetracked, but just do a search for Let's Flip land and put Flip Man behind it. All right, so we got questions here on YouTube. Read what we got on Instagram, and I'll try to pull up on Facebook also. So let me see what else we got here. Someone asked from YouTube, should I run title search before getting a property on the contract, or after, or at closing? Well, you can't do it at closing because it needs to be done to even set up a closing. It needs to be done first. But should you run it? Really, you can, but I wouldn't recommend it. You really just need to wait till you get a buyer, because a lot of times a buyer is going to dictate who closes the deal and how who pulls the title or work on it. So you should really just wait. JC said, best CRM for beginners, I need to get organized. Well, I promote my Dealulator brand, which is I'm a reseller of PropStream. So Dealulator.com, that's DEALULATOR. It's a play on the word calculator, but Dealulator. D as in dog, E as in elephant, A as in apple, L as in Larry, ATOR. Okay. Hey man, I'm in LA. And I'm not sure if LA is good for wholesaling. My brother stays in Atlanta, is the better market there. All right. This is Bub, I guess, Azo. Bub, LA is twice as big as the Atlanta market, maybe 3 times. It is a great market to wholesale in it. Just ask yourself, and people already know what's coming that follow me. Do people die in LA? Do people get divorced? You think there's some tired landlords in LA? Do people relocate? Do people lose their jobs or income? Think people have medical issues in the LA market? Kids going off to college. These are life issues, life problems of people that own real estate, right? So that creates motivation to sell cheap. Your job is to make sure you do an effective job of marketing to property owners so they know you exist. So when these issues do come up, they call you and you can negotiate a wholesalable deal. I don't know if that's a word or not, but we're going to go with it. A wholesalable deal. Negotiate a deal that you can actually wholesale. So I'm actually targeting LA myself currently. I will report back when I'm successful. I'm trying a couple of different things, doing it from a distance, got a few feet on the ground there. So if I'm successful and I can stay consistent with my marketing, I will be happily to report back to you. I normally don't talk numbers about my own stuff that much because you hear me enough. I like for you to hear examples of people that have used the information and it has helped them. But if I can pull off one deal in LA, you all will know about it. But definitely, I would love to be out in that market. Oh my God. I did a Google search on LA County, 10 million people. That's just LA County. You know, Metro LA is going to probably encompass more than LA County. LA County, 10 million people. The entire state of Alabama is only 4 million and some change. There's nothing to talk about, man. It's deals out there to be had. And then the prices of houses are so much more. The hood here, $60,000-$70,000. The hood out there, $200,000. It just means you'll do the exact same thing that I do. My check on the hood house, I'm just trying to give a baseline where you can understand and make it relevant. My check on a house in the hood may be $5,000 to $10,000 on a wholesale deal. Yours $25,000, $50,000. Man, dive in there. Your brother needs to come out there with you instead of the other way around. All right. But anyway, so I digress. All right. So the next question here from YouTube. I don't see anything on Instagram. I would ask it. Maybe it scrolled up too fast. Queen City BBE. How do you coordinate a deal wanting to pay off a mortgage over time with them finding a lease to purchase buyer? What does that mean? Okay. I guess what they're asking, how does a lease purchase work and a mortgage is in place, which is very common. Well, basically what would happen is whenever you structure a lease option or lease purchase, or it could be called a rent to own or whatever, is that number one, the seller needs to totally understand your position. All right. You're going to lease the property with them with the option to buy, but it also gives you an option to place a tenant buyer into the property, someone that can't currently qualify for a mortgage, but should be working towards being able to get an actual mortgage to purchase the house within 1 to 3 years. In that time frame, they're going to be making a payment that's more than the mortgage. The mortgage may be, we'll say $1,500. They may be paying you $1,800 if you're staying in the deal, and you keep the difference of the 18 and the 1,500, which is $300. On top of that, they will give you a down payment. We'll just say a down payment of $10,000. It will come off the balance of the price that you give the actual tenant buyer, but it goes into your pocket. On top of that, now another one of the good things is that you act as the bank, or if you sign a deal, but you act as, assuming you stand in the deal as the actual bank. It takes should take all of the landlording out of this particular deal. You're just like Wells Fargo mortgage or whatever. Whenever the toilet stops up, you don't call Wells Fargo, you call a plumber. I'm referring to the tenant. They don't call you. So that should take the landlord out of it also. On top of that, the price with the seller, with you and the seller may be $200,000, but you may have done a lease purchase with the tenant buyer for $250,000. So that $10,000 comes off, so it's down to $40,000. And so whenever they actually do get financing, you'll get a third basically payday. You're getting monthly payments, you get the initial down payment, and then you get a third payment at the end of the deal. That's assuming that everything works the way it should work. Problem with that is people will give you that $10,000 and won't make one payment. That's possible. And so now you got to evict them, hope they don't tear up the property, and then put someone else in. The good part about that, you can collect another $10,000 or whatever, and start with another family, again, assuming that they didn't tear up the property. You have to absorb that $10,000 or more to fix the property, to get it ready for someone again. Now, with all that being said, you can set up the terms with a seller and just sign that entire deal to someone else that wants to take it on or whatever. So you can still do that. All right. So that was a good question. So it's a little long-winded on it, but I think I answered it. Okay. So another question. Someone backed up my question. They said LA is tough. 100K, bro. So Santana, Nishi, I don't know how to pronounce it. It could be tough. All markets are tough, man. It's hard to find deals everywhere. I don't care where you are. But if you do an effective job of marketing, right, consistently, you could do deals. I don't care where you are, if the market is, you have enough people there. So, All right. P. Anderson says, I got a house under contract, but the 1st of March, they will start the foreclosure process because she is 3 months behind. How do I buy more time, or how is the best way to go about this? When they start the foreclosure process, you need to find out what does that really mean? How much time will you still have? Because she may just be behind in payments, but the process hasn't taken place, and depending on the state and the lender, it may take another 3 months to complete that process. So you need to find out through the lender, from the lender through her, and determine how much time you have. But at the end of the day, hopefully the equity is there in the property. It won't take long to close on it anyway. It wouldn't make a difference. Just meaning that you don't have to go through a short sale process in order to do that. All right. John Victor says, good evening, sir. Please, where can I get bandit signs from? Well, the company I've been using for cheap signs. They will offer you a small discount if you mention my name, but you need to call them to place the order. So just Google Dirt Cheap Signs, phone number will be on the website, and call them to make the order. That's why, but you don't have to order from there. They can give you a price and you can do your own shopping or whatever, but that's who I've used and recommended over the last few years. All right. Clarence Green says, Ty, thanks, brother. Keep grinding yourself. Clarence, binge, grind, and stack. If you don't know what that means, is binge on my videos. I got it on my shirt here. Binge on my videos, binge, grind, stack. Get out there and put it into action by grinding, meaning working, and then stack your money. That's what's up. All right. So, said the best source for paid list of leads, not PropStream or REI Pro, LOL. Well, list source is what I've used over the years in reality. So I'm on the show. Someone's calling me and I'm letting them know I am on the show. Please text me. Please text me. All right. All right, Mr. Business says, I'm currently doing cold calls, about 300 calls per day. Wow, that's what's happening. But I don't have a business name, and a lot of people ask, what's the name of your company? How should I answer that? Come on, Mr. Business. Come on now. Mr. Business, just give them a name, man. Whatever you think the name of your business will be, that's your business name. Or you can just let them know I'm an individual. Hey, I'm just an individual, a small time investor. I buy 2 or 3 houses a month. Just laugh at it. I really don't have a name. I'm from the old school. I don't have a name. I pretty much buy everything in my name, which might not be the right thing to do or whatever over time. So, just play it off or whatever and go into something else, laugh it off. Hey, I'm just the old school. I can balance any situation is and what you're calling about. Trust me, if they're motivated, that won't matter. It actually won't matter. Let me turn this heat off. Yeah, I'm about to burn up. Okay. All right. Shadia Hicks says, I have a seller asking for proof of funds, says POF, proof of funds, and have properties he wants to sell in bulk. Any tips on finding buyers that will have proof of funds? Well, Shadia Hicks, well, first thing you need to make sure that these are actually deals, all right, before you even go there. Because normally, just from my experience, not saying this will always be the case, but normally if they ask for proof of funds, normally you probably don't actually have a deal in most cases. Normally that's the situation. But to answer your question, you first need to find out if they're deals or not. If you don't know how to figure out if they're deals or not, I have a video titled, what is that video titled? Put in there, great deal Great deals and Flip Man is going to be the more recent video, probably within the last 3 to 4 months. Has like a blue thumbnail on it with the Flip Man logo thing back here on it. So the recent one. And so yeah, and that video will explain to you to determine if you have a deal or not. So that's the first thing you got to figure out. But normally motivated sellers don't ask for proof of funds. It just normally doesn't work that way. So what we have here. All right, Kenneth Groom says, I have a property with an ARV of 55,900. So we'll just say 56,000. All right. I'm currently negotiating with the seller. I did a math and 14,000 a good offer. Well, I don't know what the repairs are, Kenneth. Generally, when I try to, when properties are in that $50,000, $60,000 range, I normally have a rule of thumb that I try to get them $10,000 or less. Even though I put one on the contract 2 days ago where we got on the contract for 23, it's in probably about a 60,000, low 60s neighborhood. The thing is that I'm gonna probably end up wholesaling some terms. She's 3 months behind and she just wants out. She's already moved out of the house. And I have a young lady that's working with me that I'm training. She's helping me get organized because she's an organized human being. I need that help. But that was our first experience dealing with a seller. It's probably second time. And I just say, that's the look of a motivated seller. She doesn't care. I am her solution. That's the look of a true motivated seller. There's different levels of it, obviously, but that's what a motivated seller looks like. Okay, so moving on. My perspective asks, what's the best way to flip a house with a mortgage? Understand that a lot of houses that you do deals on will have a mortgage. A lot of houses won't have anything on them, but the mortgage balance, what's owed on it, the payoff simply needs to be less than the price that makes the deal work for you. Example, if you have a house and what makes the deal work for you is $150,000, if the mortgage is less than that 150 and they have a mortgage balance of 120, then that deal works for you. But that just simply means the seller will only get $30,000, which is the difference between 150 and 120. They will only get $30,000 at closing. Now, if it's a situation, the 150,000 is the number that works for you, and the seller payoff is 175. Then that's a deal breaker because the mortgage is more than the price that works for you. Oh, I hope I made sense of that. All right. So what we got here? All right. Says, can you talk about how to move commercial properties? How does the contract and numbers work? Well, it still boils down to, as I was explaining to I don't want to call her sister. I'll call her business partner in reality because, like I said, she's offering some value to help me get organized. So I was explaining to her is that, and I didn't get this. I didn't come up with this. So, but there's a great best way I can explain it. I don't care with any form of real estate or just business in general. That's when you're trying to be a middleman or wholesaler or whatever. You find out where the money is and where it's going, and you stand in the middle. Do that with houses, do that with commercial real estate. Okay, what I mean by that is, at the end of the day, you have to find something that's going to be attractive to hopefully multiple buyers. The difference with commercial and houses is that houses, to determine future value or potential value, is simply based on what other properties of similar specs have sold for. It doesn't work that way with commercial for the most part. You can use comps, but for the most part, it's income, either existing income that is producing or future income that it can produce. Then it breaks down to what type of property are we talking about. They're evaluated differently. You have self-storage. You have multifamily, which is 5 apartment units or more. You have hotels, motels. You have retail strip centers. You have single tenant buildings. That'll be your Walgreens, Burger King, McDonald's, just one tenant. You have industrial or warehousing. You have, what am I missing? I think nursing homes are included in that. There's a lot of different types of property. I may be missing a couple, but there are a lot of different types of there are a lot of different types of commercial property. So, but they're income driven as far as how you evaluate them. So you have to create value with commercial property based on potential income. So that's the reason they're going to purchase. Now, there are other factors that go into play, but just to answer your question, and then you said it boils down to the contract and the number. I talked about the numbers. But with the contract, it's not going to be like a standard contract like you have with the one-page contract that I use for houses. That'll pretty much work in most situations. Just want to just a flat out buy and sell cash deal or whatever. So with commercial, I always just recommend it's just a Google search away and just go with something that you are comfortable with and you understand. People say, well, I don't know what that means or that phrase. Guys, Google is, and some of you younger cats may not know, it is an encyclopedia on steroids, all the steroids. If you don't understand what a phrase is or a term, just Google it. Define mortgage, define earnest money deposit, define quitclaim deed. If you ever hear me say Google is your friend, I'm not being smart. I'm just letting you know that you can find a lot of your answers by just doing research. You know, that's what I do. I'm just saying, I've learned a lot through Google. The internet in general has made me a lot of money in a lot of different ways or whatever, but it's the great equalizer. That's why I have very little patience when people start to give me excuses why they can't do stuff or whatever. Somebody says, well, I'm not that good on the internet. I wasn't born, I don't think I'm that good, but I just understand when I got a question about something, normally it's going to provide multiple answers. I may not know anything about it, and it'll provide multiple, really as many answers as you want. So just to sort of, I'm getting off on a tangent here, but I'm just letting you know your answers can be answered quickly on just, especially when it comes just to defining something like that or something technical. It's unbelievable stuff like that. All right, so what we got here? Someone asked Kenneth Groom about a rehab cost. Well, Jonathan Cohen has a very basic but very important question. What's the easiest way to find a good deal? Wow. Now that is a question. The easiest way. Well, a couple of ways you have to go about it. Now, it depends on how much money you have, right? Because the easiest way to probably find deals, the easiest, if you have money to spend to advertise. And when I started, I'm going back to the internet. I use Google AdWords, right? And I let it go for a lot of years until like recently. And you just think about it, even with bandit signs. Okay, let me just break down the different ways you can market, right? And then you can sort of choose your own. With bandit signs, you put them out and you didn't directly target them, but you sort of did, because they literally have to pick up the phone and either call or text you, right? So that type of seller is going to have a different mentality than someone that you send a piece of direct mail to. Now, they still have to pick up the phone or go on the internet or whatever to contact you. But a lot of times with them, you know, because it depends on what your message said or whatever, they have a different mentality than someone that'll call a bandit sign. All right. Now you get over to cold calling. That's because you're calling them out of the blue. They're not expecting your call. You never know what their mood is or whatever, because even with bandit signers direct mail, they'll call you when their mood is right in a lot of cases, where with cold calling, you never know what their mood is. Now, that could be a good thing. You could be catching them right in the middle of going through a divorce or whatever. You know what I'm saying? They're not thinking about selling the house, but you call them and you're now the answer to their problem. Or you could call them, they're going through a divorce and, you know, get out of my face. So, you know, so that's one thing. So it just depends. So, all right, now you have ringless voicemail, which will similar be to cold calling, but with ringless voicemail, if they actually respond back to you and want to sell outside of them, want to cuss you out, then that's a different mentality, sort of closer to bandit signs in that aspect. Or the voice broadcast, same thing, you know. So now you go over to social media and it's going to be similar to bandit signs. You're just putting a message out there to someone and they respond to it. So it's a different mentality. But going back to Google AdWords, now it's very expensive. It's like the next level for most people. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to spend thousands. When I say thousands, I mean anywhere from $3,000 to maybe $5,000 to get going or whatever. But the quality of the leads it dwarfs all the rest of them, in my opinion, just from my experience. Because someone has actually sit down and said, sell my house fast, buy my house fast, buy my Birmingham house. You know, it's just a different mentality whenever you're dealing with them, and they tend to be more motivated. Just from my experience now. I'm not saying this is gold or whatever, but just from my experience. And but you know, that's the next level, because it can be quite expensive. A lot of times people ask me, it has to be done right. You have to have someone that knows what they're done to set up a campaign, because it's going to be a little complicated, especially overwhelming if you don't know about that kind of stuff, which I understand it, but I still pay someone to actually do it or whatever. So and then with Facebook still trying to figure that out. I think we are close to figuring it out. But you know, again, you're still gonna have to spend money, spend a good deal of money. But I like those type of leads. You know what? I like the Facebook leads just as good as the Google AdWords that I've gotten. I got one I'm gonna finally be able to put on the contract if I have to actually go. The seller doesn't have transportation, so I have to pick him up, take him to the house, take him back home or whatever. The only reason I haven't done it yet is because the weather has been raining here for like 4 or 5 straight days. And so, you know, he and I agree with just wait till the weather clears up, hopefully next week. But those are some really quality leads, but it's expensive to do. Well, that's the thing. So, you know, I try to give people ways to get into the business, because I know a lot of people, like I was when I started, and I didn't have a lot of money invested into it. But some people do have those type of war chests. If you got it, you know, hey, I can walk you through it or whatever. But it again, it's pricey to set everything up or whatever. But those are some quality leads, and they'll start to take care of themselves, you know, within a short time frame. So Instagram, I'm still here. About to run out of juice on my telethon. My great aunt used to. So anyway, but I think it's a very because at the end of the day, all this stuff boils down to, guys. You can the reverse wholesaling, all this other crazy stuff, man. That stuff don't work if you can't find great deals. And that's the hard part. That's why I talk about it so much, because I know the challenges of finding deals. It's tough, you know, but he asked the easiest ways. I think I sort of laid it out if you got money, you can make it a lot easier to find deals. If you don't, you're going to have to take some of the less expensive ways and stay consistent with those, and you'll have the money to do everything. You really need to be doing multiple things at once, as many as possible. You really need to do that, you know, in reality. So let me see if I can read this one from Instagram. It says, if I put a banner sign and I have a Google Voice number on the banner sign, is it okay if I just the Google recording telling them to no, you want to talk to them. Now, sometimes you won't be able to answer the phone, but anytime you can answer the phone live, when someone calls, answer it. You're not the only one doing this. I get a lot of deals, and people get a lot of deals over me, I'm sure, because they answer the phone first. Voicemail, trying to screen, that's up to you. I want to talk to everybody if possible. That's where follow-up comes in. Just because they don't want to sell at a price that works for you today doesn't mean their situation may change, that now they wouldn't sell it to you for $150, but because they wanted $225, 6 months down the road, they'll sell it to you for $125 because the situation has changed or whatever. But because you talk to them, possibly built some rapport with them on that initial call 6 months ago, but boom, again, you can't always answer the phone, but you need to try if possible. I know some of you have 9 to 5, your phone is ringing or whatever. You have to do what you have to do. Been there, done that. So you get back to them. But as soon as everybody have breaks at work, I'm sure 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, depending. Call them back on your break always. That's what I'm going to strongly advise you. So only need to go to voicemail when you don't have a choice. When you just simply don't have a choice. All right. All right, Q-Tuck says, when using an LLC on your contract, do you sign the LLC name or your name on the signature line? Normally, when you set up an LLC, you do managing members. So you will be a managing member. You can title it something else, but normally that's what I go with, is a managing member, which you may be the only managing member, but that's how it'll be the title, but you'll sign your name. All right, Isaiah says, is it a good idea? Is it a good deal to go after pre-foreclosures in California? I guess is what he meant. Okay. Yeah, if that's your thing, just understand some of the hurdles that you may have to jump through with a pre-foreclosure. Have a student going through one of those right now in New York. That hopefully will be able to work out. All right. Says, as though says, thanks, Flip, man. No problem. Hope I helped. B Poke, I don't know if he's talking to me or not. So are you trying to wholesale the deal? Oh, he's talking to somebody else. Okay, EJ Alvin, do you have the same for the selling of that I give away can be used for sellers and buyers? So yes, that one-page contract can be used for sellers and buyers. Now, sometimes your buyer may want to use their own agreement or whatever, but you know, that is what it is. You just have, as long as the terms mirror or come close to what you need as for what you already have with the seller. Now, when a seller starts trying to submit you a contract and all that, no. You got to control that, unless the real estate agent is involved, and they're going to use the approved Board of Realtors contract for your state and or market. Deacon Jones says, how do you show pocket listings without the realtor messing everything up? I guess you mean showing it to buyers. You have to be just straight up with them. Hey, if there's a pocket listing already, they have some form of confidence in you to just only let you know about it, I'm assuming. So let them know you have capital investment partners or capital and partners that you need to show the property to, which those are exactly that. They are partners for that one deal. All right. Someone says, can you make a video on land flipping? I may do that in the future. I'm not sure how deep I'll go into that. You know, my channel is dedicated to houses, and I've sprinkled some apartment stuff in there, which I have the courses on that, and some single tenant stuff. But you know, I don't know. I don't know. I can't really tell you how I feel about that or whatever. So maybe so in the future. And then I understand now that's new for me also. I just met someone that's a lot more experienced than me, and I don't have to wait till I become an expert at it to say, hey, let's make some money together. I just understand it enough that I've been sleeping on a lot of opportunity over the years, and I actually grew up in really that biz in a sense, and you just don't know. Boy, it's amazing. You don't know what you don't know. And that's well, all of us about a lot of different things, of course. So, all right. Jalen Sheldon says, how do you go about negotiating with apartment owners? Well, it's really the same thing. You're still going to have a motivated seller. Only thing about apartments, you normally don't have to get them as cheap as you do with houses. And it's a lot easier to wholesale, in my opinion, to wholesale apartments in the D areas. More so with houses. I learned that, you know, just by mistake on my first apartment deal. I thought I was going to have trouble wholesaling an apartment building. I got tons of calls where if there was a house in that same area, I would have struggled to move it. So it's really the same thing. It's going to boil down to how motivated they are to sell. Now, again, the way you evaluate an apartment is going to be different than the way you're going to evaluate houses. So keep that in mind. But as far as their level of motivation, you know, apartment owners still die, they still get divorced, you have inherited property, probate property, back taxes, loss of income, tired of being a landlord, you know, all of that, just life issues. So the negotiations is really no different in that sense, outside of just understanding what makes a deal with an apartment deal versus, you know, single family. Dominique Price says, I'm new to the entire real estate investing area. Well, welcome aboard, my man. I'm assuming you're male. Well, maybe a female. I think it's female. Sorry. Welcome aboard. Dive into my channel. Ben's Grind and Stack. As I mentioned before, it's all here in my videos. It's over 300 plus videos and counting. That's me spilling my guts on wholesaling houses and real estate in general since August of 2008 online. I've been doing deals since 2003, January of 2003. So 16 plus years in the game. Get in the game now and educate yourself. I know everyone wants to move forward, you know, fast or whatever. But as I explained to my organizational partner is, it takes people that want to be physicians, be doctors, you know, 8 years of schooling and 4 years of residency or whatever they call it. So 12 years to become a doctor. You can't take 3 months to learn information that will allow you to make more money than they make. I'm just saying, as they say, I'm just saying. All right. So, and it's free. That's what I mean. They pay hundreds. In some case, well, at least 6 figures to become physicians. This is free. The return on investment is infinite for you versus them spending all that time and, you know, whatever. So a lot of ways to make money. I'm just letting you know. So can we? N White says, can we ask the buyer for a non-refundable deposit on a deal? And the answer is you can negotiate anything if you want, but in a lot of times buyers in these deals, the only time if the title is not clear, you have to get a person their money back. If you can't produce a seller can't produce a clear title on the deal, you get a person their money back. That's really the only reason it should go back to them. Now, a buyer can send you a contract with an inspection period. I may do that with them, but it's only going to probably be 2 or 3 days. I can't allow them to tie my property 7, 10, 14 days in the inspection period because I'm doing that. So I can't get them to mirror what I'm doing because I'm gonna run out of time or whatever. So, but yeah, if they can't, if a clear title can't be produced, then yeah, the money has to be given back to them because you want it back. If the seller can't produce clear title for you, you know, even if it's 10, 100, whatever you put down, it's for earnest money. So there you go. All right. Toxic Given says, today I read a wholesaler in New York City uses an LLC for each one of his deals. Is this a necessity? Well, starting out, if you have to choose between a marketing budget or LLC or whatever, then you're going to go ahead and spend it on the marketing, get your phone ring. And it's not going to kill you to do a deal or two in your name. And then you want to create an entity of some sort. A lot of times people go with an LLC. It's easy to sort of protect you from what you're trying to do or whatever. So yeah, but you don't have to do deals in the LLC, and we just recommend it because you are running a business. So starting out, you don't have to start that way, but that's where you want to end up. All right, Cleavon Tillman, I guess that's the way it's pronounced. When targeting absentee owners, y'all killing it tonight. When targeting absentee owners, who would you target first? Pre-foreclosures, tax liens, vacants, in what order and why using Deregulator? Well, whenever I target absentee, I don't choose any of those options. I want all of them to be in play for me. I don't care what their reason for motivation is. I just want them to be motivated. So I don't choose any of them. I just choose non-owner occupied. Normally when I'm in deal, it's just the filter I use. I normally do non-owner occupied. Let me see. I do non-owner occupied, non-owner. Well, you know what? I'll show you guys what I do. This what I'll do for you. So where is it? Let me put it up here right quick while it's loading. Oh, and don't forget, guys, you want a free copy of my contract, text the word contract to 833-439-9632. If you want a copy of the closing detail sheet that I use, text the word close, CLOSE, to 833-439. Let me make sure that's the number. 439-9632. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the number. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, 833-439-9623. So what I want to do is I'm gonna show you guys how to this is the way I do it. You don't have to do it this way or whatever. There's so many ways you can go about it. That's the great thing about the software Deregulator, aka PropStream. So what I'll do is we'll just choose a county. So I'm gonna type in, hope you all can see my screen. I'm gonna type in Shelby County, Tennessee. All right, that's the Memphis market for the most part. That covers a large part of the Memphis market. All right, so first it's gonna pull up all the properties, over 700,000 properties there, and that includes everything. So I go up here to filter, and then I hit owner occupied, no. See, over here is what they were talking about. You have MLS, pre-foreclosure, foreclosure liens, cash buyers, high equity, vacant, free and clear, bankruptcy, divorce, and auctions. Now, sometimes what I will do is select free and clear. I will do that. Now, so for the sake of this, I'm gonna do free and clear, right? But that's the only one I normally will select unless I'm doing a cash buyer search. So now you want to go into property characteristics. So you're gonna do single family. All right, so I'm gonna close that. The other thing is ownership, owner. Now, the thing is now, the way it will filter a list is from the most recent sales dates. So what I would want to do is I want to go in here, I want to go back a little bit. So what I'm gonna do, I'm probably going to go back to about 2000. So we'll scroll down, we'll just say 2000. So we did 2001, that's fine. All right, so we'll start here February 1st of 2000. And then the date up to, so I'll go back up to, we'll just say 2004, and we'll go Where is it? Where am I doing here? So we'll just do that right there. All right, so from 2001 to 2004 for the most part. All right, so that's sales date. So owner type, I just want to do individual. I don't want to include corporate. So over here, it tells you what you've selected, and you can delete any of them at any point. So I hit apply. So it comes up with a list of 2791 under that criteria that I've included. So that's normally what I'll do. And then I'll tinker with it some more. I may move the dates up to 2010 or something like that. So just to get an idea. And then another feature I just discovered the other day, you can put in here also years of ownership. So you can put in here a minimum of 10 years of ownership, or you can put in here a minimum. Let me just try it right here. So you're going to learn how to learn. So let me just hit reset, erase all of that. And so owner, we're going to do free and clear, property type, single family, years of ownership. So we'll go down here to ownership. Let's do a max of 20 years. See if it pulls in. I don't know if it's going to pull anything. So it's going to depend on how Shelby County have it set. So it didn't. Did it pull anything? 20 years. Would that still be? That's about 20 years. So I don't think it actually pulled anything. Let me clear it. So let's see here. All right. So owner. I want to make sure here doing it, because if not, I may have to log back in and back on it. So single family. So max 20. Now let's do this. A minimum, I got to do it this way. So a minimum of 20 years, a max of 25 years. That's what I need to do. All right. No, that's beds and bath. What am I doing? All right, let me get out of single family. So ownership, this is what I look. So a minimum of 20, max of 25. So individual, see if it pulls anything. All right. Okay, it only pulled 33 under that criteria. So what if I change that to 10 years and a max of 12 years? We'll just say that. Okay, so I changed it to 27, 25. So you don't have to actually put the dates in there. You can just put in there the number of years of ownership and free and clear, and boom, there you are. So imagine if you did that in LA County. Let's change counties here. Let's do that in LA County. It's just, it changed it to over 4,200. So boom. So just to get out of that, just wanted to show you that. So it's a lot of ways you can manipulate lists using the tool. So it's just your imagination. You may figure out a niche that no one else has figured out yet. So, but normally I like to use the free and clear on it. So, all right. So back to questions here. Since the flood in Houston, a good place, is it a good, I guess they mean, is it a good place to do real estate investing? Well, Houston is going to be a good place to invest anyway. So regardless of the flood, so that's relevant, but it's irrelevant because it's such a huge market. So it's going to be opportunities there in Houston, regardless of the flood or not. So to answer your question, yes. All right. Let me see here. What else we got? All right. Clint Walker says, how can I avoid taxes on capital gains? That's a CPA question, man, but you're going to have to pay taxes, my man. Now obviously you can limit or reduce your liability, with different methods or whatever, but that's a CPA question. But if you have to pay taxes on money that you're generating, that is a good problem, because what's half of zero? All right. So Somebody, Shaq Smith says, nothing wrong with taking longer than 30 days to find a buyer. My last deal took 3 months. I've had one to take. One of the bigger deals I've ever done took 6 months. A friend of mine and I, we split 30 grand. You know, it took 6 months. But it should have only took 2 weeks like it did once he turned it over to me. But, you know, that's a story for a different day. Okay, so all right, Jonathan Connor says, where is your video that explained the math for offering a deal for a property? He says AVR, but it's ARV, after repair value. Again, Jonathan, the video that I mentioned before, just look up Great Deal and Flipman, and it'll have like a blue thumbnail background, and it'll be a recent video within the last 2 to 4 months. And that video breaks it down, probably the best I've done since I've been putting out videos. So that's the video that I suggest that you take advantage of. All right, so again, guys, if you want a free copy of the one-page contract that I've been using since 2003, you simply just want to text the word contract to 833-439-9632. You get a free copy of the contract. If you want to get on the alerts list for the Flippinars, just simply text Flippinar to 833-439-9632. And if you want to get a copy of the closing detail sheet that I use, just text the word close to 833-439-9632. Don't forget about dealyoulater.com. I just sort of went through how to build a list of non-owner occupied, free and clear. They've owned the property 10 years, 10 to 12 years or more. Boom, a list splits out. And then you can even break that down even more. You can say they've owned it longer than that. So you may want to get more detailed than that. So then you can be zip code specific. You don't have to just target the entire county. Even if you're doing a cash buyers list, you can go in there and select the cash buyers, single family, and say they've owned the property for a max of a year. So that's going to be all recent transactions, because it's going to automatically default to a longer period of time. But if you go in there and put in there the ownership of a year, a max of a year, then it's going to be recent transactions. Now, all of those won't be buyers that are actual investors, but it may pull a list of 150. If 35 of those are actual buyers, you know, if 3 of them are actual buyers, that's good, you know, so for that particular area of your market. So boom, so don't sleep on the dealyoulater.com. It's not going to do deals for you, but it will make doing deals easier. No question about it. I love it. I love it. And don't forget about my podcast. You can get this on podcast. Should have it up, you know, in a couple of days, this one here. But all of them, I got all of them up now. It took me a minute. I was slacking on my game. Finally got all of them up. Paid my nephew to do it. He needed some work. So boom, got those up. And so flipmanpodcast.com. We're on iHeartRadio and iTunes. So we're covered on Apple and Android devices. Make sure if you're trying to do direct mail, as we talked about in a couple of the questions, mail to flip.com. Stop leaving money on the table. Stand out from your competition. Send the owner a picture of their property and wow them. Say, wow, these people want to buy my house. They actually have a picture on here. They took out a lot of trouble to do that. So boom, mail to flip.com. Follow me on Instagram, flipman.net. That's flipman.net. You know, I'm gonna get a shirt made with that next week. Hopefully Adria will be here next week and we can get a shirt made with that, with my Instagram handle on. Should have been getting shirts like that made for a minute. Instagram, it seemed like people on Instagram are a little bit more responsive when I put stuff out. Been trying to put out a little bit more content on a daily basis. I think I missed a day or whatever, had a lot going on or whatever. So I think I got all of that covered, guys. I really appreciate everyone showing up this week. You see, I was solo this week, and hopefully the girls will be back next week, and we can rock and roll again. We went dead on Instagram. So again, I appreciate everyone that's taking their valuable time out. Again, take advantage of these 300 plus videos, man. It's all there for free. I will answer questions for free in the comment section of any of my YouTube videos. If you don't know how to do that, go to YouTube and say, how do I comment on a YouTube video? Just ask the question on YouTube, and there'll be tons of videos to show you how. If you can look, I answer the questions. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate everyone that follow me. Please share it, like it, and we will see you on the flip side.